your girl JV. High Priestess. Back at it again with the general tarot reading for this full moon in Aquarius. You know what's interesting is I waited so long for the perfect condition to do this reading. The perfect condition, I'm leaving that out because the party's involved. And as soon as I was about to say fuck it, the condition, and like film anyway, the condition I wanted presented itself. I'm telling you, things are shifting. There's something about you waiting for the perfect conditions to do something. Now is the perfect condition for you to do something. It's like whenever you go to do it, what you need will be provided. The goal is to do it. The goal is in the doing. And it's just like also that the doing balanced with the, it's interesting, the doing of Capricorn combined with the knowing of Aquarius, which brings me back, well, it brings me to this Saturn retrograde in Aquarius amidst this full moon in Aquarius. This is happening at 19 degrees. Saturn's at 22 degrees Aquarius, I think. So close enough. Close enough for there to be like, Daddy Lessons. Go listen to Daddy Lessons by Beyonce. I'm telling you this because there is something about, the line goes, with his right hand on his rifle and his hand upon a Bible, my daddy said shoot. Oh, my daddy said shoot. When trouble comes to town and men like me roll around, oh, my daddy said shoot. There's something about lessons, like paternal lessons coming in by way of the masculine, lessons coming in by way of people around you. I'm going to go ahead and let you know this is going to be a long one. So buckle in, get comfortable, hydrate, light it if you got it. We're at this appropriate distance for Aquarius, for the full moon in Aquarius. And so I do feel like there is also another kind of download that came through is something about this like sterile intimacy. Aquarians give y'all real good intimacy. Y'all just don't like the way that they give it. Y'all just don't like their kind of intimacy. Because it's not like their shadow, Leo, all warm and fuzzy and goo goo gaga and soft and cuddly. They give you cold, they give you emotional intellect and emotional intimacy that can feel cold because it's sterile truth. This is the moon and Saturn. The moon, your emotions, the lens with which you view and process your emotions through. And Saturn, karma, time, restriction, limitation, discipline, order, daddy. And so there is something maybe about a releasing or an acknowledgement of emotional restrictions, the friends that are keeping you in some sort of like bubble or some sort of like you, because of the people that you're around, you're not doing the kinds of things that you want to do. There's like a time, there's something about branching out, getting new energies, getting new people, getting fresh ideas, fresh interactions in your life. And I also, before I move on, want to talk about that with Saturn being retrograde here in Aquarius on top of the moon. I do feel like there is, and I've been saying this for a while now, there is something about the punishment will not fit the crime. And I also feel like consequences are being delivered out at a faster rate than normal. Interesting, because as of today, Mercury is in Virgo and there's this grand Earth trine happening, Pluto in Capricorn, excuse me, Uranus, Mars in Taurus, and now Mercury in Virgo, excuse me. Stuff's going to be coming up so it can be stabilized, so it can be grounded. And I do feel like also the whole Earth is spinning a half a millisecond faster than it normally does. That shit's not a coincidence by any stretch of the imagination. And so be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising. Patreon gets everything first. Patreon.com/justjeverything. Over there we do all the Leo season videos are already out. The full extended, the Patreon plunge, where we clarify every card and really dive in. Spirit Squad's lit, so be sure to join. For daily content, check out my Instasham at justj_everything. TikTok is at justjeverything. And for other dope shit that I do, please check out my website, justjeverything.com. A little sweet grass for that ass. Let's go on ahead and cleanse this space. I like doing everything in clockwise motions. Calling in and expressing such deep, profound gratitude for our benevolent ancestors, all of our ancestors, but we just want to fuck with the benevolent ones right now. Mother God, Father God, Mother Earth, thanking you all for the most useful, helpful, and divinely aligned messages for everyone that watches this, everyone that sees this. I found some quotes as I was setting up for this. Damn it, I lit the wrong end. I'm already too high, see? There's something about getting back to your roots, your originality. Like, this is how I always did it. And I'm not like, I don't give a fuck what happens going forward. Like, this is already Aquarian energy. It's like, time to break out of these social conditionings. I ain't afraid of nothing but God. And so I don't feel the need to conform. I have Sun trine Uranus natally, so I am like, if anything, I am an individualist. If anything, I am a purist at heart, like for like a purist for originality. And I think there's just some really, really interesting energy that's coming in. It's funny that I just said that because one of the quotes that I found, both are by Brene Brown, who, give that bitch a shot. I was hating at first, but she got it. True belonging requires us not to change who we are, but to be who we are. I do feel like intimacy and vulnerability with others and with yourself, profound intimacy, needs to be, it's like you need to be able to spot intimacy. You're needing, even if that intimacy isn't the way that you require, okay, that may be the right word. Even if that intimacy isn't the way that you require it, maybe you are subconsciously requiring a certain level of intimacy and then get mad whenever you don't receive it. And you're thinking that it's not intimacy, and it's like, no, that's just like a shift or a different love language that's being spoken. So I do feel like finding out your love language, if you're partnered, finding out, doing that whole thing is really important. Figure out how the fuck to communicate better to each other. And that's also something I have on my list for my spouse is like, I don't know why this came up, but it's just like, I can't remember how I worded it exactly, but it's like, I'm grateful that our traumas and our love language coincide and gel well together. Like, that matters. Okay. The other quote is, a wild heart fights fitting in and grieves betrayal. And I do feel like this is a big thing about being done betraying yourself. What's keeping you from your individualism? What's keeping you from expressing your uniqueness, nerve, and talent? You know what I mean? What's keeping you from sprinkling a little extra, allowing yourself to be as extra or as little or as whatever it is that you want to be? Like I said, this is going to be a long one because I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. It's all over the place. I really want to focus on oracles versus tarot. I have so many great oracle decks and I just want to like let them flow and speak to us. So the thing about Aquarian energy is through the lens of Aquarius, which we're going to be able to access, is according to them, the mind's too damn precious to waste. And this energy is going to help us help ourselves and help others actualize their true abilities, our true abilities. Like there is something about the actualization part. Ooh, I just saw 1111 hit on the recording. So yeah, actualization is a thing for sure. The emotional spotlight, or I think the themes that are going to be coming up are going to be very Aquarian, and that's humanitarianism. They're the epitome of the idealist, being more community minded, and this is like rebel energy, freedom, equality, science, technology. All of this is about releasing whatever is keeping us from being very future focused and future oriented, but not so future focused or future oriented that we allow it to breed anxiety. There is a healthy balance to be found there. Yeah, there is a healthier balance to be found there for a lot of us. And I'm gonna start with the weirdest fucking deck I have, honestly. The Oracle of the Dragon Fae. We may even read out of the book a little. I'm addressing my notes. Y'all know how I am with Aquarian energy. It's very disconnected. It's very kind of, so like chill, get in the moment, relax, call in your people. Let's like get in this. I do have a lot of notes. Mercury is now in Virgo, and that like notice the awareness to detail, and like every little like detail is gonna start to fucking matter. So I got 1,001 notes now compared to fucking Cancer and Leo season, which I'm not, honestly, my Aries fucking self is not looking forward to. So this full moon is happening amidst the transit of the year, and that is Uranus, the co-ruler of Aquarius. Saturn is already retrograde in Aquarius, the North Node, your soul's purpose in life mission, what you're fucking meant to do here, and Mars, all happening in Taurus. And so this is more, this isn't just like full moon in Aquarius energy. This is like hella, I don't know, there's just like very, very like important Aquarian, profound Aquarian energy that we are having access to. And it makes sense because, the sun is in rulership. So it's just like this huge light is being shown on the current season. So of course it's just like this equally matched intense energy focused on the shadow. And Aquarius is the shadow of Leo, the opposite of Leo, the axis of I will Leo versus Aquarius, I know. And so that's where all this activity is happening. What do you know, and how do you allow it to will you into action, into movement? What do you do about what you know? Why do I do what I do when I know what I know? It's a quote that's haunted me since I was a fucking child. Anyway. This Aquarian energy really wants to infuse an unbinding from social conditionings and access to the extraordinary. I love that that flowed in. I don't know what's been going. I normally have this big disconnect with Aquarian energy, and I've been working on stopping like claiming that or even like saying that. But I like it in a way. I like the challenge of like not being able to like stick to anything. It's fixed masculine air. It's like the blow dryer. It's like, you know, you try to like, or you, have you ever done that? You know, those air, what is it? Skydiving simulations. Those people who like jump on those big turbine fucking fans and it blows up. That's just like, that's Aquarian energy. It's like, you can't grasp onto anything. All you can do is fucking ride the wave. All you can do is let this take you where it needs to take you. You know what I mean? And so there is something about profound surrender, the appropriate distance, accepting consequences for actions. Nothing flipped out. I'm not taking anything anyway. I just want to get to shuffling. But I like that, how that came, this unbinding from social conditionings, especially with Daddy Saturn there. It's just like, and Saturn for some of you, it's like, is the real cool dad that's like, yo, we're going to fucking Woodstock. Like, here, you know, I'm giving you your first beer, or that kind of thing. And then some of you have needed the dad where it's like, no, get the fuck up, clean this fucking room up. It's time to like, you know, this is how we do this. Like some of you, it's like, depending on what you need from this paternal or masculine energy, I feel like you're going to receive it. If you need structure, order, discipline, you're going to get that. If you need that nurturing, divine masculine energy, that masculine energy that is combined, it's feminine and is really like nurturing and non-judgmental and encourages you to be the fucking weirdo, encourages you to be the black sheep. Woo! Okay, and that's another thing that keeps coming through. And I love that it's happening now, 17 minutes in. Let me tell you now, baby, the black sheep is the new it girl. Angles. Sorry. It is Leo season. Let me just. Sorry. I had to just. Sometimes you just have to remind yourself. Venus is getting ready to go into Leo on August 11th. Oh, yes, that's what this is. Okay, earlier in the day, before this full moon actually happens, Venus goes into Leo. And when I tell you the glow, the look, the zhuzh, it's just like, I don't know what it is with me and the zhuzh, but it's just like, that's what it is. That's what it needs to give. Like, there's something about you accessing, like, your inner ability to, like, zhuzh it the fuck up and shine and be who you are. And even if zhuzhing it up is like you shitting on them. Shit on them. Apply the pressure. Apply the pressure to yourself. Because not for any other reason than, like, okay, yes, there is that very, like, kind of Leo egoic, like, kind of energy. There's that. But I also feel like you need to remind yourself in whatever way that is, and it doesn't have to be with looks, it doesn't have to be with makeup, it could just be with your accomplishments, it could be with like, brag about yourself, display yourself, stop restricting, like take the limits on my mind. Oh, it's rude for me to talk about how well I'm doing. Ooh, that's another thing. This whole thing may just be fucking download. Let's just flow. Like, there is something about, if you are happy, you need to start fucking displaying and sharing and like proclaiming and exclaiming that you're fucking happy. There's so much negativity going on in the world. And I think that people forget that, like, yo, there are a lot of us out here who are like genuinely fucking happy. And honestly, in a very like Leo, like egotistical way, a lot of like, you know, Leo energy is very pick me, like look at me kind of energy, because Leos are the sun. They usually have face, they usually have style, they usually are just people are naturally drawn to them. But there is something, I lost my train of thought because I just caught an angle of my face and I was looking at myself. Fuck. What was I gonna say? There's something about like displaying yourself, marketing yourself, understanding like what works for you, understanding like your spark. It'll come back. There is something about like not being shamed out of your spark, your uniqueness, like sharing who you are, sharing your accomplishments, what you've done, letting other people know. Like there's so much negativity in the world. Like I do feel like people need the reminder to be happy. And that's okay. This is what I was gonna say. So there is something about who you gravitate towards, who you give your attention to. You're going to start to notice that. And a lot of times in Leo season, and you may see in fire signs around you, specifically Leos, that there is this like external validation that they receive or that sometimes they rely on. And with Jupiter retrograde in Aries, that shit's going to start to get cut off. You're going to have to learn how to be really reliant on your own internal validation. Like also like fixing your relationship with validation in general. Why do you need to be validated? If you don't need to be validated, if there, you know, when there's that genuine like confidence and like value. And that's why all of this shit's happening in Taurus right now, to really like shift our relationship to value, how we value ourselves, how we value ourselves as citizens, as mothers, daughters, husbands, wives, children, spouses. There's something about shifting our relationship to value, and it starts with how you value yourself. And so it's like, there's something about being admired also, like why you're admired, your source of validation. And what my point is, I don't want to be famous. There's a lot of people who are starting to say that to me now. Like, oh my God, you're going to be famous. You're fucking famous, bitch. You're blowing up, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, if there's any fucking thing that I want to like share with the world, and I think this shit is revolutionary and it's actually perfect for this video, but it's just like, if there's anything you're gonna admire me for the fact that I'm genuinely fucking happy. Like, I don't know how this happened. I just walk around thanking God all day, thanking myself all day, like really like, whoa, I fucking left my hometown. I fucking worked so hard that I had no social life and I had all this money and I fucking shifted my life. I got my art outside of me. I was in a band. I fucking sang in front of people. I fucking drove across country. I fucking like listened. You know what I mean? There's something about like if you're gonna admire me because of my radical authenticity, because of the fact that that's what I want for you, and that I just want you to remember, like, no matter what's going on, you have access to genuine happiness by way of like radical fucking individuality and radical faith in the divine, which you are a fractal of. And so I feel like if there's any, and this is very like North Node, if there's any purpose or thing that I have, I feel like I was put on this earth to break the fucking shackles of you can't have your cake and eat it too. Whatever the fuck that is for you, and whatever version and variation of your cake that is going to be bigger for other people, smaller for some. But there is something about like breaking out of this mindset that like I've got to sacrifice certain parts of myself to have what I want. And it's just like that only applies to when you're like working for a purpose, I feel like. Like, for instance, the only thing I ever felt like I had to sacrifice was like a social life, or like dating, or like partying, or being around friends, because I had like shit. I needed to learn that. I had to learn all of, you know, I had to like figure this shit out. You know, I love it though. I had to figure this shit out. I had to like, you know, and I didn't have any fucking advisor except for, I mean, the closest thing to it that I had to an advisor was maybe like Umber. Shout out fucking Rev Fam for life at the Quietest Revolution. My mother, like, so anyway, and it's not about me. I'm just saying there is something about understanding like your particular like purpose. You're already doing it. You just, and you're, and I don't feel like always that your purpose is tied to money, but I do feel like operating in your purpose, a byproduct of it is prosperity, is you feeling abundant. You, and abundant doesn't have to mean you earning 6 figures. You know what I mean? And that's a big thing. Everybody's like, how do I get what I want? It's like, come up with some original desires. You know what I mean? That is a thing. Come up with some fucking original desires. Why do you want the same shit that everybody fucking has? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is it about $1 million that y'all have learned at this point that money, more problems, right? Okay. So, I do want to tap into the handy dandy. Y'all already know. This full moon in Aquarius is happening on August 11th at 7:36 p.m. Mountain Time, 9:36 p.m. Eastern Time at 19 degrees Aquarius. Venus will have gone into Leo before that, earlier in the day. And so I do feel like there is a very Venusian kind of like, because, you know, Leo is the shadow, so this is happening across. There is this zhuzh, I don't know, a glow that's a soft beckoning to explore your shadow, a soft, like, helpful hand coming out to, like, really help you, like, break out or unlock the cage in your mind, unlock the cage in your friend group, in your hopes and your wishes. 27, my lucky number. It's just like there is this unlocking. There is something about access. There is something about the extraordinary. This is the fucking star card, you know, the star card energy. And so I do have specific questions that I'm gonna dive into. But I want to do this first. All right. So Elias Lonsdale's description of the 19th degree of Aquarius is loud crashing noises as a glacier moves. The indomitable spirit of one who has been at this forever and will still be on collective karmic alert to the very end. Purpose hugely takes precedence. Purpose hugely takes precedence, the North Node. Whatever is changing and whatever is staying the same are the two forces you track with the report back to the cosmic center upon. You are being driven to the utmost to observe and witness objectively and dispassionately all the decisive and epical shifts and pressures in the collective mix. I like that it said dispassionately because that makes me think of that sterile intimacy that came through as a download. Eyes wide open in the dark. Sterile intimacy. Eyes wide open in the dark. Attention riveted to trends and turning points, and attention riveted to trends and turning points, and yielded up to a long ago agreed to him and his run on sentences. Attention riveted to trends and turning points, and yielded up to a long ago agreed to code of recording and evaluating all the relevant data, so that the cosmic forces can determine what is happening way down here, and can fine-tune their way to evolve the situation optimally. So that the cosmic forces can determine what is happening way down here and can fine-tune their way to evolve the situation optimally. Doesn't that sound like some alien shit being involved? Anyway. And as I said that, I looked at this and it just felt like very UFO energy. They're working up to telling us, to revealing, like, to a show, a display of some sort. Anyway. So that the cosmic forces can determine what is happening way down here and can fine-tune their way to evolve the situation optimally. So that all concerned can synchronize with the greater ways and be released from anything and everything that runs counter to the bright promise of Earth evolution. Whatever's holding you back from your evolution is coming up, and I like that kind of hint to the greater cosmic forces that are at hand being involved. That whole line about them basically trying to figure out what's going on down here, so we can so it can be determined, like, what are we ready for in order to evolve to the next level. Regardless of what you believe in, there's no way that we're in this universe alone. I don't need to convince any of you of that. But I just do feel like there is a freedom of the mind. A lot of you breaking away from the way that your parents believe, the way your parents vote, the way your parents taught you. Breaking away from social conditionings and the way that your friends believe, the way that you were taught to behave. There is just something about being governed by your own moral compass. So light it if you got it. Told you it was going to be a long one. I'm going to pull one from the Oracle of the Dragon Fae and see what kind of the ancient vibrations and energies have to say. Something archaic about this energy. And the larger divine forces. And also the dragons are just my people, so. Wow. Melusine. Love who you are. And what are we talking about all this whole time? Just your individuality, your uniqueness, nerve, and fucking talent. Love who you are, flaws and all, tail and all. Whatever ways that you're different and all, love them. And then on the bottom of the deck, Gaia's Dragon, Divine Union. I'm telling you, this is definitely with Venus entering Leo in the shadow. There is this, how do I get this glare off? Oh no. There is this kind of divine union of the light and the dark. I do feel this feels very Empress energy. But I want to read Melusine, Love Who You Are. I think this one is a bit long-winded, so I may not read all of it. But, oh, y'all not in any kind of order. Oh. Nice, thank you. I turned right to it. I'm not gonna read all of this because this is 2 pages. I will read the divinatory meaning and the working with Melusine. Divinatory meanings: You may be facing rejection from others, particularly due to traditional family, religious, or cultural expectations. How does this shit always tie back together? Anyway, being thought of as unacceptable in some way, struggling to fit in to an environment that only loves parts of who you are, or that only loves part of who you are. Finding people you want to hide. Finding people want you, what? Finding people want you to hide some of who you are so that you fit in. That's a typo. Finding people want you to hide. I think it's like certain people want you to hide who you are so that you can fit in, but absolutely not. Working with Melusine is confide in those who love who you truly are. And when the first glimmer of acceptance is given, feel your own self-acceptance blossom. Spend time in water, in baths, and among nature to learn to fully accept who you are. See the incredible variation in all natural forms, and know that you are a being of nature yourself. Wow. Okay. So I wanted to get some from there. What do I want to do next? I really want to ask some questions, actually. And I'm going to use the Deviant Moon Tarot just because. Be a fucking deviant. The Deviant Moon Tarot. This is Aquarius energy we're talking about here. And so one of the first questions I want to ask is, what area of life requires more freedom? I think I just really have 3 questions here that I want to dive into. The Chariot, how you get in motion. What inspires you to get in motion? There's some sort of mask, the armor that you put on in order. You need more freedom by way of understanding that real armor is acquired in the spirit. Whenever you do your shadow work, when you ask yourself the hard questions, when you're willing to do the work to make sure you're not projecting your shadow on other people and you're not accepting other people's shadow being projected onto you. Integrating the harsh lessons from disharmony generates real change in your life. The times when things didn't go your way. 5 of Cups reversed. You know, when the shit hit the fan, when the cups spilled, the way that you react, the way that you have applied armor on yourself, it's closing you off. And I feel like you can acquire, what area of your life needs more freedom is how you get in motion, how you allow yourself to receive, how you allow yourself to integrate. So this has a lot to do with the mind, and also allowing the knowing, Aquarius, allowing that to actually alter and shift your behavior and progress you forward. So different deck, because I just want to switch it up. I'm going to use regular tarot. How do we acquire said freedom? The will to move into that Chariot energy, to move forward. I also feel like some of you need, how you can acquire freedom, like prioritize a vehicle, prioritize getting a car, or putting in the work to, or the money to finally like get the vehicle, or to get the bike, or get the thing that you want, to get the truck or the car, whatever it is, to get it back running, or to take care of it. Don't ignore, you know, those bald tires. And so there may be more freedom available to you if you get some sort of transportation. There may be more freedom available to you if you address, if there's, for some, this isn't for everybody, but for some of you, there's an issue with the cancer, or a mother or a baby mama, or a mother-in-law, or maybe one of your friends that has a mom, or a friend that has a car. I mean, that is like you're sharing a car or something of that. There could be some need to like resolve that issue with the vehicle, or the balance of the vehicle. So how can we acquire the freedom? What action is required? So we know the area of our life. Whoa, how we can acquire the freedom is by way of allowing ourselves to receive. Wow. Okay, the light is shifting on me, of course. This is the Ace of Pentacles. Come on. Nice. Ace of Pentacles. So we can acquire the freedom by way of, putting down what we're holding on to. Because if we're holding on to the old way of doing things, if we don't, there's the star. If we don't let ourselves to be guided, if we don't allow ourselves to I just heard dream bigger, bitch. You're not dreaming big. You got to dream big, bitch. You got to dream big, bitch. And I can only call you bitches because I don't know your names individually. But there is something about how can you grab this Ace of Pentacles that's being handed to you if you're so busy trying to take on everything and do the divine's job. It's like you don't even have, some of y'all, there's something about like not having enough faith to even like let the divine do their part. You're trying to control everything. You think you're taking it all on your own. All you have to do is put your intentions out there and let the divine do the rest. It's like your relationship to earning it needs to shift, needs to be restabilized. Your definition of, or the way that the divine needs you to earn it is by way of like shadow work and bravery and courage and individuality, not necessarily like making yourself so fucking miserable that you conform. Don't allow yourself to be a cog in the wheel. But if you are currently a cog in the wheel and you have a 9-to-5 and that's how you feel, and you're like living full muggle life, like really understand, like, what's the purpose for it? Am I doing this? Am I allowing myself to stay in this miserable situation because there's a means to end? Like for me, I worked for fucking StubHub for like 3.5 years. I was so fucking miserable. But while I was there, and it was a terrible example of an employee. Like, I was doing fucking terrible. I was on the phone. Everybody walked by, saw that I did tarot. Everybody already started to know me as the tarot lady. I was training myself to read tarot, to interact with spirit while in hella chaotic environments. And so training myself to be able to like hone in and tap in. There is something about like some of you need to shift your perspective of what you're hustling for. You're being guided to something, and it has a lot to do with breaking free, cutting through the bullshit so that you can hear clearly what the divine is trying to like awaken in you. There's something about getting off autopilot, awakening those dormant gifts and loves and passions, that you have in your life. And so, I want to pull from the Art of Kundalini. I love this deck. It's hard to find. But the next question I had is, how can I become more myself? How can we become more ourselves? Your ideas are worthy. We can allow ourselves to internally validate. Once we get to that place of worthiness, this newfound place of worthiness, nobody's going to be able to tell a shit. So how we can become more ourselves is really, I feel like, bearing ourselves, getting more comfortable with your physical body, with nudity, with vulnerability, with being vulnerable around other people around you. You are the color of the world. It's like you can become yourself by like letting go of the shackles on your mind of what you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to have by now, what it's supposed to look like. You are everything, all times, all at once. 44 on the clock. There is this restabilization of the mind and the physical body, and that, ooh, I love this, that hardwire that we have to spirit. I love that I was finally able to find something that like depicts that visually. You are the color of the world. There is this, whew, bottom of the deck. Find it in your dreams. You gotta dream bigger, bitch. You gotta dream bigger. How you can become more of yourself is, who are you in your dreams? That version of you that you keep talking yourself out of becoming, or the, you know, the insecurities, whenever your dream that you have that's keeping you from, in your waking life, reaching for that version of you in your dream life, the version of you that, you know, in your like this energetic like aspiration that you have. What can you do? What steps can you take to start bridging that gap? Your ideas are worthy. You are the color of the world. Find it in your dreams. There is this like blooming, that blossoming, this germination of the seeds that are planted whenever you talk to the divine about it. I feel like it's important to start, how you can become more yourself by, when you're starting to go to sleep, ask the divine to reveal stuff to you. It's time to set an intention before you go to sleep. I feel like that's important. So then major star card energy. I'm just gonna like let this flow. I want to pull from these oracle decks and just see what comes through. Releasing the shackles on our mind, releasing like the how it usually comes in, what messages I like, forcing, you know, steering the message in a certain direction. You know what I mean? It's just not necessary, it feels like right now. And so I want to pull from, the universe has your back. It's the most basic bitch oracle deck that I have, but I never use it, and I think that it is lovely. And so this is very star card energy. Are you dreaming big enough? Because you got to dream bigger, bitch. And I even love that I have like kind of like how he looks in that video, where it's just like, who told you you couldn't have it? Who told you it couldn't be that way? It couldn't be that good? Who told you you needed to, you know, pipe down or be less? When did that start? When was that seed planted? When did you accept that about yourself? When did you accept that, like, that's not gonna happen. That's not in my capability. I can't do that. Merge your realism with your idealism. And what are you already doing? What brings you joy? What brings you passion? That as like an adult, like what can you monetize, or like how can you do that? You know what I mean? And but also like your purpose isn't tied to like money. Sometimes your purpose is just like you praying for people, you giving people compliments, you like depositing truth, or like being a good friend. Like your purpose doesn't have to be like delivering everyone from their, like, please. Okay, so I've already just been asking for messages coming through, and this says, through prayer and meditation I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. And I feel like that's what this Uranus North Node and Mars energy has done. Interesting, this is, very much so gives me vagina, or vulva. This looks like vulva energy right here. So I do feel like there is this deep, this is a masculine sign, but I do feel like there is profound meditation, access to the divine found by way of you connecting with your yoni, connecting with, also for those of you who don't have a vulva bearing body, there is something about honoring the vulva more. The vagina is only what is penetrated. The rest of everything else is the vulva, for those of you who don't know. And so for those of you who are interested in being romantic or sexual with people that have vulvas, then it's something, there is a new honoring, a newfound respect, a new prayer, a new meditation, a new worship for the vulva, for the divine feminine energy. And this is a masculine season, a masculine moon, hyper masculine, and it feels like, that's not the card, and it feels like there is a profound counterbalance that we have the ability to usher in this masculine season. And it's funny that this dark ass card just came out because feminine energy is dark. I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. Some of you are still afraid of the dark. Some of you are still afraid. Some of us are still afraid of the dark. Some of us are still afraid of the dark corners of our mind. And that's what's happening, and that's what's being exposed this season. The darkest crevices, the things that we compartmentalize that we don't want to talk about, they're coming up, light's being shown on them, and we're going, and there is a certain level of fearlessness that we're being guided to. Think about the star. As a species, the humans, we've been looking to the stars for guidance and navigation for fucking centuries. And whenever you are willing to go through the darkness, it starts to get lighter, and you bring new profound energy and information into the light because your willingness to navigate the darkness. In any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. Two cards here talking about prayer and meditation and stillness, basically. I recognize that I have chosen fear, and I choose love. We're starting to learn how to stop. We're starting to call ourselves out and be able to recognize when we're choosing fear, so that we can actively start to choose faith. And that's the thing about this releasing. You can't release shackles on your mind if you don't acknowledge that there's a shackle. You can't acknowledge the restriction in your relationship or in your friend group or in your community or in your traditions or your culture. You can't release any of those binds on you until you acknowledge that they're there. And so that's what this full moon is really coming up to do. Help release the shackles. And some of you, you're learning a new relationship to prayer. Some of you are hella atheists. Some of you, you're finding something new to pray to, new rituals, but I feel like ultimately this is you really learning how to believe in yourself. Ooh, I'm really tempted to light a cigarette in here. My roommate's not home. This is my shit. Some of you are like, ew, no, it's gross. Sorry. I love you. No. I will save that for my relief later. So any messages from the Dark Tarot? I love this deck. It's such a sexy deck, so don't put the kids away for this one. Any messages from the Dark Tarot? And just, just any messages for the single people, because this is some sexy stuff. For the single people, 5 of Wands and Temperance. Wow, okay. So some of you, the single people, options may be really coming in. Venus goes into Leo, baby, and you start to shine. People start to see your aura. People start to see your energy in a different way. Look at this. I want you to see this card very clearly. Oh, come on. Yeah, you can see kind of that aura around her. There's something about coming out renewed. Coming out of the water, this like being baptized in self-worth, being baptized in fire, being baptized in courage and self-confidence, coming out anew, but look at how she's transparent. And you can see that there's something about this, like that authenticity, I'm telling you, that like when it almost feels like some of you are even thinking about ethical non-monogamy, being really, maybe you're talking more about it. Those of you who are polyamorous, you may be attracting in more people, more partners. There may be more people like vying for your attention. Some of you, it's like you want someone beefier, or you want someone thick, or you want something like that, and that's coming in. There may be somebody with Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements coming in, specifically, or Pisces, but Sagittarius is coming in hot. Some of you may be fighting with a Sagittarius or a Pisces. Some of you are fighting. There are people who are opposing this renewal. What I say, and you're going to have to cut some of them loose. There are karmic trials coming by way of other people. There may be people, I just heard witch hunt. Also, some of you, there may just be people who are like, I feel like the divine feminine, the whole, it's long before this Roe v. Wade shit is nothing new. This shit's been here, it's been prevalent, it's been in our history long before now. They're just being really blatant with it. And I do feel like, this is weird, but the female rights aren't the only rights they're coming for. I think they're going to start coming for gay rights. I think they're going to come back for gay marriage. I think they're going to come for, a lot of things. And I'm telling you, we're going to have to come out this bitch renewed, transparent, really clear about what we want, so we can get really clear with the divine about what new earth we want to ascend to, or manifest, or materialize on this motherfucker, whichever way it's coming. I do feel like there is something about, just receiving opposition. Some of us are getting opposition for this new version of ourselves, and you need to pay attention who doesn't fucking give you your flowers, who doesn't clap for you, who doesn't support you. Keep your fucking combative and doubtful energy the fuck from around me. Please clarify the Five of Wands. Some of you, I feel like it's really important to start figuring out your energetic wards. Your putting up, an energetic boundary around you. Whether you use white light, whether you use fire, whatever it is, you've got to figure out and find that information on your own. Stop relying on other people to teach you how to do stuff. Stop asking questions that you can answer for yourself. There is a certain level of self-reliance that's coming in. This is Aquarius. You've got to rely on what you know. And if you don't feel like you know enough about what you want to know about, then get the fuck busy willing yourself into some sort of like mastery, or, expertise, or expert level, or, like becoming some sort of like Renaissance person, even like learning a lot about multiple things. Queen of Wands. Some of you are becoming like really, really attractive, or your business is about to blow up. There may be somebody definitely with Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements coming in that you're maybe fighting with, or fighting for, or I feel like there could just be opposition. It's like some of you, it's like you're just standing up you're just trying to be yourself. You're just trying to stand up for what's right, and you're getting guilt, or you're getting pushback. And my advice is to fucking sever those ties. Plain and simple. I'm sorry, that's not the answer you want. Stop working for people who don't have the fucking tools to build and grow and progress with you. I'm sorry, that's what it is. Please clarify Temperance. There's moderation. There's some sort of, for some of you, this Five of Wands is upsetting. There may be an upsetting situation that you're recovering from. Maybe with an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Pisces, or Sagittarius. There may be somebody with addiction issues or recovery issues that you're struggling with. Six of Swords. No, this is the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords reversed. Someone with Sagittarius or Pisces, Gemini or Aquarius also, maybe Libra, is coming out of a depression. Or they have been trying to fight desperately hard, like really trying to fight their depression. There is this like looming kind of force that I feel like they're trying to figure out. Interesting, in original tarot, Temperance has wings and is like there's an angel depicted, but this like Nine of Swords, there's those angel wings. Again, or not even angel wings, there are those wings. And so I do feel like there is something about expansion. This is Jupiter energy, Jupiter retrograde in Aries. I feel like it could have you going, like you may be trying to rely on old sources of luck or old sources of incomes or relying on old things about yourself, and you can't go back. You're not going to have access to those old things or those old habits or those old mindsets. I do feel like some of you are really learning how to shed guilt, really learning how to like come out of your depression or come out of this like outdated way of thinking, or getting out of this toxic environment that's been really holding you down. The Four of Wands reverse. For some of you, this is a marriage. For some of you, this is a spouse. For some of you, it is an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. For some of you, it's a roommate. It's an oppressive living situation. Some of you, there is just something from the past, or anxiety or grief or depression or actual death maybe that you still are like recovering from. Some of you, there's just so much that you want to do and you don't know where to start, and it just feels like give yourself stillness so that you can start to dream bigger, and so that you give yourself stillness so that you can quiet your mind enough to receive the download of what the next dream is supposed to be. Wow, when I opened my eyes, I thought, I honestly was like, that was weird. That was somewhere else. Anyway. Anyway, already at an hour. It's not what I wanted, honestly. But I don't even know if I have the room on my phone to upload this big ass video. But I'm actually gonna let this be it. Soul Truth Awareness deck. Y'all know I love this deck. Self-awareness card deck. Let's just get called the fuck out. Read us for filth. What expectations do I have that are impossible to meet? Ooh. The expectations we have are mostly delusional and impossible to meet. When we experience disappointment with ourselves or with a relationship, we then experience disappointment with ourselves or with a relationship when they are not met, your expectations. It's time to dissolve your expectations and replace them with gratitude. Be grateful. You are being summoned to more peace, which that's the Star card. You're being summoned to more peace, guided to more peace. Peace is home for our soul, and it is accompanied by trust. It comes when you surrender and focus only on what you can control. If you expect nothing and you are grateful for everything, you will experience extreme fulfillment. Ooh, all right. And then, how can I be more flexible right now? Leo, Strength card. What are you trying to control? Maybe it's time to let go. Let love move through you today and trust the outcome will be for your highest good. Remind yourself all day long that you are safe, that life is happening for you, and that you are not alone. Then do some yoga. Aquarius, what do you know? Leo, what are you going to will? How are you going to harness your knowing through your doing? Our doing comes out of our being. And so think on that. What is the doing that is coming out of your being, and what knowing needs to be upgraded? Final looks at, I can't, I love you.